The politics and the war of words over Delhi pollution is only escalating. Day after Diwali, as Delhi's capital, quality of the year degrades. BJP and Aam Aadmi Party are trading barbs and indulging in blame game. Delhi Environment Minister Manjinder Singh Sirsa held a fiery press conference where he accused the Aam Aadmi Party government in Punjab of forcing the farmers in the state to burn paddy, including the air pollution in Delhi, which results for the paddy being burned in the neighbouring states. Sirsa accused the Aam Aadmi Party of appeasement, claiming that AAP is involving and indulging in the blame game politics just to appease one community, while the BJP is trying to maintain the pollution levels in the state, in the union territory. Just after coming into power, it has been 7 months. The Aam Aadmi Party meanwhile claims that the BJP government in Delhi is hiding AQI data. The AAP says that this is the politics that the Delhi government is indulging to hide its failure. Sample the reactions coming in.
देखिए, मेरा ये जो फोन है इसकी AQI ऐप है, ये तो 600 दिखा रहा है। पता नहीं सरकार ने तो क्या किया है, मुझे जानकारी नहीं है। मगर जिस सरकार की मुख्यमंत्री AQI भी नहीं बोल सकती हैं, वो IQ, AIQ, QQ पता नहीं क्या बोलती हैं उसको, तो मैं उनसे उम्मीद नहीं करता कि वो यमुना के पोल्यूशन को या एयर पोल्यूशन को समझ सकती हैं। मुझे लगता है कि उनको समझ नहीं है। मगर अभी जो सरकार भारतीय जनता पार्टी की आई है, उनकी तरफ के जो भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लोग हैं वो ट्विटर पे, फेसबुक पे लिख रहे हैं, देखिए आजादी के बाद पहली बार दिल्ली में दिवाली मनी और पहली बार हिंदुओं की सरकार आई है। तो क्या साहिब सिंह वर्मा मुसलमान थे, मदन लाल खुराना मुसलमान थे, सुषमा स्वराज मुसलमान थी? कम से कम उनको तो छोड़ देते, कम से कम यही कह देते कि बीच में कुछ हिंदुओं की सरकार आई थी। तो ये लोग प्रोपेगेंडा के अंदर इतने अंधे हो चुके हैं कि उन नेताओं को, जो इनके बड़े नेता हैं और तीनों इस दुनिया में नहीं है, ये उन तक को हिंदू मानने के लिए तैयार नहीं है।
अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने पहले जानबूझकर दिल्ली में पटाखे बैन कराए, एक विशेष वर्ग की वोट लेने के लिए, उनको खुश करने के लिए, और अब उनको खुश करने के लिए आज सुबह से अरविंद केजरीवाल जी की सारी टीम निरंतर दीपावली को कोस रही है। प्रभु राम जी के इस पावन पर्व को बार बार कोसा जा रहा है। कहा जा रहा है कि पाप कर दिए लोगों ने, दिवाली क्यों मनाई। तो मैं बताता हूं, जो दीपावली को ये ब्लेम कर रहे हैं, ये झूठ है। ये केवल एक किसी वर्ग को खुश करने के लिए किया जा रहा है। ये औरंगजेब और अकबर के चहीते बोल रहे हैं, जिन्होंने टिप्पू सुल्तान की फोटो लगाई थी विधानसभा में, वो लोग बोल रहे हैं। ये जो 10 साल तक अरविंद केजरीवाल 10 साल तक जो मुख्यमंत्री रहे।
And now shifting our focus to Karnataka, where Deepavali political fireworks are now in full-blown blame game and political attack. Is the state an ATM for the ruling party is the question that arose after the politics exploded. The Congress has hit back at the BJP and demanded if had any proof to substantiate allegations that Karnataka is being looted to fund elections for the Congress party in Bihar. Two senior MPs of the BJP, B.Y. Raghavendran and Jagdish Shettar, had alleged that the Karnataka Congress is funding the party in Bihar, while Deputy CM D.K. Shivakumar and Chief Minister Siddaramaiah dismissed the allegations, calling them baseless. The Chief Minister also lashed out at the centre for starving the state of funds. However, there was embarrassment for the Congress as the Chief Minister's own economic advisor and party MLA, Basavaraj Rai Reddy, and another MLA flagged the issue of serious corruption amongst officials following illegal sand mining. Listen in to the Congress BJP political war of words before we head to the other news segments.
In Estate Development Corporation scam, the money which was meant for the development of scheduled tribe community in Karnataka, how did that money go to Telangana state? When thousands of accounts has been created, fake accounts was created, money was drawn, and how did they utilize that money? Enforcement Directorate has given a clear note on this. What else do you need? What proof do you need? And here in this issue also, they are looting. Contractors have been pressurized to give money to release of LOC. Why? Because they want to fund for Bihar elections. And what else? What proof do you need?
Raghavendra all of them were in a practice of doing it. So they are recalling their practice. We don't have any of the practices. We are not at it. We don't need also. We don't need also. So I think to just make a statement, some hit and run. Where is the evidence? If he has any evidence, let us show it. Nothing is connected to it. They are afraid of our Congress party. India bloc will come back to power.
Shifting our focus from Karnataka politics to the strengthening northeast monsoon, bringing heavy rains to north coastal Tamil Nadu and south coastal Andhra. Red alert has been sounded for several districts in north coastal Tamil Nadu and an orange alert for Chennai city. The state government is sending out a message of preparedness for heavy rains, has put at least 12 senior IS officers in charge of each of the red alert districts. Schools in several parts of Tamil Nadu are closed tomorrow in view of the heavy rains. My colleague Sam Daniel sends us this weather check. Take a look.
As the northeast monsoon intensifies across Tamil Nadu, there's a low pressure over the Bay of Bengal, which authorities say could intensify into a depression tomorrow, triggering heavy to extremely heavy rainfall across coastal Tamil Nadu and northern and delta districts of the state. As we speak, the state received heavy rainfall in several pockets. Tangachimadam in Ramanad district received 17 centimeters rain over the last 24 hours. Velankanni and Chennai's Medavakkam received 10 centimeters rain. The Met has forecast extremely heavy rainfall in 4 districts, Chengalpattu, Viluppuram, Kadalur and Mayiladurai. Chief Minister M.K. Stalin today reviewed the situation, speaking to collectors via video conference, and he urged them to keep relief centers ready and a system in place to carry out evacuation if required. He also urged them to expedite the paddy procurement and also to ensure safe storage of paddy. On the ground, Deputy Chief Minister Udayanidhi Stalin undertook inspections of various water bodies and systems in place, particularly the new stormwater drains in Chennai. Authorities have also assured M.K. Stalin that JCBs, boats, tree cutters, lamp posts and transformers are all in place in all these districts, just in case if there is a need. NDRF is also on standby in several of these areas, and although the northeast monsoon is very crucial for Tamil Nadu's drinking water requirements and agricultural needs, this also comes with a huge level of hardship in terms of heavy rainfall, often triggering cyclones and other allied challenges. But authorities say they are fully prepared and all eyes would be on the depression expected tomorrow. In Chennai with Suresh, Sam Daniel, Find It TV.
Taking a quick focus at what's happening around the world, US President Donald Trump has issued a stark warning to Hamas, saying any further violation of the fragile ceasefire in Gaza would trigger a response that would be fast, furious and brutal. His comments come amid fears that the US brokered ceasefire could collapse after a renewed burst of violence in the region. Tensions have remained high in Gaza despite the ceasefire agreement signed at the summit hosted by Egyptian President and Trump. Reports of renewed clashes and retaliatory strikes have raised concerns about the truce's durability. And also, Mr. Donald Trump is also eyeing that he will now emerge as a peace leader between sparring nations. But what will be the result? That will be focused on how Israel-Hamas battle goes on. Now, US President Donald Trump has also issued a warning for the neighboring nations and other nations who are assisting Hamas in this fight, saying that it will not be good for them as well and there will be consequences and repercussions if other nations join this battle. While warning Hamas, my colleague Disha Bagchi is also joining me from the newsroom to give us more details. Disha, as I was mentioning that US President Donald Trump has not just issued a warning to Hamas but other nations too for their assistance. Tell us about it.
Right, so he's basically said that while he's ruled out American troops in Gaza, he says that US allies in the Middle East are ready to straighten out Hamas. That is what he's exactly said, and that they are willing to use brute power and brute force to straighten out Hamas and push it to disarm in Gaza. Now, this has been a series of threats that US President Donald Trump has issued against the militant group in Gaza since that Gaza peace proposal was signed, wherein US President Trump essentially said that the Gaza war has ended. Now, while he has said that, there are a lot of details that still need to be fleshed out. Now, there is no deadline yet. The Trump administration has not put out any deadline for when Hamas needs to disarm, but they have been pushing the group to quickly put down its arms and essentially leave the enclave, which is what they have mentioned in the Gaza peace proposal. However, the group has said that they have not agreed to this condition in the first phase, and that this issue is still needs to be worked out. And they in fact they claim that mediators have not even brought up this issue yet in the first round of talks. Now, talks are still ongoing, and the militant group has said that they are continuing to give back the remains of the deceased hostages over the past who passed away in their captivity in the past 2 years. So that is still going on. So the ceasefire is still in place. But US President Trump continues to make these warnings, and this also comes at a time when US Vice President J.D. Vance, he is in Israel today, he made similar comments saying that the US is ready and US allies are ready to use force to make Hamas disarm. So there's a lot going on in the Middle East when it comes to the ceasefire. Now, it remains to be seen when Hamas will actually disarm and what the next phase of this ceasefire will even look like. But all eyes are now on that region.
Absolutely, Disha. Thank you so much for joining us with those details. Shifting our focus to Iran, where Iran's pro-hijab leader is under fire after daughter's wedding video goes viral. Now, Iran's supreme leader is also facing rare public embarrassment as a scandal involving one of his top aides' daughter's video now goes viral on social media. The controversy centers around the wedding of the daughter of Ali Shamkhani, a prominent hardline figure and staunch pro-hijab advocate. Take a look at this report.
A white low-cut strapless dress, bareback gowns and veils. Sounds like any other wedding in the West, right? Yet this wedding has ignited fury in Iran's hardline Islamic regime, known for its draconian hijab laws for women. A video from 2024 shows the daughter of an aide to the supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei wearing a plunging strapless wedding gown has gone viral, with Iranian activists slamming the double lives of elite officials in the country. Ali Shamkhani, a long-time ally of Khamenei and a military commander, is one of the strictest enforcers of Iran's strict hijab and public morality policies. Yet ironically, when it comes to his own wife and daughter, the rules no longer matter. The setting, a lavish Tehran wedding at a luxury hotel, with Shamkhani himself walking his daughter down the aisle, his wife by his side in a revealing blue lace evening gown, with both women not wearing a hijab. In fact, it was Shamkhani, the former head of Iran's Supreme National Security Council, who was behind the brutal crackdown on the anti-hijab protests that erupted in 2022. After the death of Mahsa Amini. Amini, a 22-year-old woman, died after being beaten by morality police for allegedly not complying with the hijab rules. Amini's death ignited global outrage and calls for justice. But for many in Iran, justice still feels distant. While Shamkhani accuses Israel of leaking the video, it has reopened deep wounds in Iranian society, exposing the glaring double standards between those in power and the people they govern. For a regime built on control and conservatism, the veil of moral authority is now slipping. NDTV Bureau Report.